Hello everyone, and welcome to part 1 of What If Jazz was in Transformers Prime. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So the story kicks off at the Autobot base, Autobot Outpost Omega 1, where Ratchet is working. That is until he picks up a signal of an Autobot ship inside the solar system, to which Optimus makes contact. Unknown vessel, this is Autobot Outpost Omega 1. Identify yourself. Optimus Prime, Ratchet, and Bumblebee are surprised once they hear who it is. OP? That you? What's with all the security up here? The planet we're on is filled with Decepticons.
Commander Jazz.
We would be most happy if you come here and assist us.
On my way, Prime. To which Jazz begins making his way to Earth. And yes, Jazz is arriving in replacement of Wheeljack in the episode Con Job, but don't worry, Wheeljack will arrive, but later on. As to which Soundwave picks up the communication and shows it to Starscream. Ah, the Autobot Jazz. Coming to Earth, isn't he? This will be a perfect opportunity to send in our agent. Makeshift then walks into the room, and then begins taking on Jazz's appearance.
Bulkhead, Bumblebee, RC, and Optimus Prime all ground bridge out to greet their ally Jazz. Jazz, or Makeshift, greets his friends. However, Optimus senses something different about Jazz. He's taken back to the Autobot base, and he even meets the humans there. And Ratchet is also taking the notice that Jazz is acting different. He isn't Jazz as he used to know him. Meanwhile, the real Jazz wakes up restrained on board the Nemesis brig, and in walks Soundwave and Starscream. Well, if it isn't my old friend Jazz. Starscream!
Been a while. Now, what do you want from me? Oh, I don't want anything from you. I just need you here while our agent Makeshift reveals the location of your base. And who knows, perhaps after everything, I could skew you just like how I did a certain Autobot. Jazz is then like, Autobot? What Autobot, Starscream?
Your old friend, Cliffjumper.
Jazz restrained then says, No, you'll pay for that, Starscream. Starscream then says, And yet I still live. We shall return for you, Jazz. He and Soundwave then leave to commence the invasion. Meanwhile, Ratchet goes to voice his concerns to Optimus. And Optimus actually agrees with his suspicions. And so, he gathers the Autobots in order to confront Jazz.
To which Optimus asks him a question. Jazz, before the war, what were you? Oh, I was a radio bot, Prime. Optimus then equips his mask. That is where you're wrong, Decepticon. Jazz was a cultural investigator during my days as Orion Pax. Perhaps you did not do your research properly.
And instead of Miko, Jack is grabbed by Makeshift. Stay back, or I'll crush him into powder. RC's then like, let him go, Decepticon. And Optimus grabs her. We cannot risk hurting Jack. To which Makeshift opens the ground bridge to the Nemesis. And to escape his cell, Jazz uses his speakers, and they manage to disrupt the Viacon's systems long enough to be knocked out.
Starscream and Soundwave are outside. The ground bridge is opened. Excellent. Things are going according to plan. And Jazz is leaning against the wall. Hey, Starscream. And Starscream is like, so you finally come to kill us, Jazz. Jazz is like, them? Soon. But you? This is for Cliffjumper. And then he shoots Starscream repeatedly in the chest, which causes Starscream to die. To which Jazz then says, see you later, Decepticons. He then runs through the ground bridge. Meanwhile, Makeshift has Jack.
But then, Jazz runs through the ground bridge, activating his stereos and aiming it at a frequency that disrupts Makeshift, causing him to let go of Jack. And RC grabs him. To which Makeshift does try to make a run for it, but Jazz grapples him and restrains him. Optimus takes out his blasters, and all Makeshift says is, all hail the Decepticon cause. And Optimus shoots Makeshift in the chest, killing him and causing him to go offline. And Jazz says, oh, I'd also shut down that bridge if I were you. The ground bridge is then shut down from the other side. To which, as a group of Viacons were about to go through, the ground bridge shuts down in front of them, and Soundwave just looks. What's supposed to happen now? Starscream's dead. Does he have to lead the Decepticons? However, he picks something up on his scanner as a Decepticon ship approaches and requests to land on the Nemesis. He accepts the request, and a Decepticon ship comes into view, landing and out walks
a group of vehicons known as snipers from Fall of Cybertron and their commander, Blackout. I'm aware you have an Autobot known as Jazz on this planet, Soundwave. We are here to hunt him, as Megatron ordered us to spread and hunt every last Autobot. Jazz is on top of my list. To which Soundwave nods
and begins to show Blackout footage of everything that has happened before he arrived. Blackout is in like, I see. Then perhaps I shall stick around to not only assist you with Jazz, but to assist you with Optimus Prime and his Autobot rebels. To which Soundwave nods. Meanwhile, Jazz is fully welcomed into Team Prime, even scanning his alt mode, and he begins to tell the Autobots everything that had happened in the warship, and that he made a successful termination of a huge Decepticon name after finding out he killed Cliffjumper. To which RC is like, really? Who was it? Who killed Cliff? Starscream killed Cliffjumper. But don't worry, I avenged our partner, RC. To which RC smiles, happy that Cliff's death has been avenged and he could rest in peace knowing that. Optimus commends Jazz on his act on killing Starscream. The Decepticons are now without a commander-in-chief, and with that advantage, soon we shall launch our attack. However, I would need my commander at my side. And then he looks to Jazz. OP, you should know me long enough. I'ma be at your side no matter what. So Jazz officially becomes Optimus Prime's second in command on Earth, the commander of Team Prime. Eventually, we get Agent Fowler who's flying in his jet. And then Blackout comes in out of nowhere, shooting at his jet. As well do a lot of sniper vehicles who have taken the form of helicopters as well. Agent Fowler begins combating them until he's shot out of the sky.
He then makes contact with the Autobots, and Optimus is surprised that the Decepticons are even still going without a commander. However, he leads the Autobots in.
And above them are a group of helicopters, and Blackout says, I knew the Autobots would fall for this trap, especially since it's a powerful energy source. And so Blackout and his Viacom snipers make themselves known. And Jazz is then like, what, Blackout? He's here? He must have followed me. To which Optimus says, Blackout, Megatron's third in command, so it would seem the Decepticons are with leadership. He then goes over radio and tells Ratchet to get Agent Fowler out of here. And Team Prime begin to provide cover fire as Ratchet ground bridges in to get Agent Fowler out of there. Ratchet ground bridges in and grabs Agent Fowler. And he is just about to grab the dingus until a peculiar helicopter arrives. Agent Fowler and Ratchet are like, what in the world? More Decepticons?
And the helicopter shoots an EMP, immobilizing Ratchet. Agent Fowler looks up into the helicopter to see who is controlling it. He then sees a man, and Silas says, it would seem that living machines are among us. Very interesting indeed.
He then uses a grapple to try to get the dingus.
Meanwhile, we see Jazz taking on Blackout in a fight. He then sees the dingus being taken by Mech. So he jumps over Blackout, and Jazz uses his grapple and attaches it to the Mech helicopter. Silas is then like, grr, and then he orders Mech to drop the dingus. So they drop it and leave. Optimus calls an immediate retreat of the Autobots. So Bulkhead grabs Ratchet and leaves. Optimus grabs Agent Fowler. As to which the dingus falls and causes a huge explosion. To which Blackout and his Viacons are far away. And all he sees is the ground bridge close in the distance. We shall meet again, Autobots. And then they leave. Silas is kind of processing what just happened. This isn't the end, visitors, for we have home field advantage. And we will find out more about you. And then we see he has claimed a picture of Jazz. And then he flies off. To which back at the Autobot base, Jazz comes before Optimus and the Autobots and apologizes for being the one to cause those humans to drop the dingus and cause that huge explosion. But he did what he felt was right. And Optimus is like, no, Jazz, you did good. You showed heroism as we faced Blackout and his new Decepticons. And as we saw this planet spawn its own Decepticons. We are just glad to have you here with us. And only together can we defeat the threat to this planet. Meanwhile, at the Decepticon warship, Knockout and Breakdown have returned from scanning their Earth alt modes. And Knockout is like, so, what happened to Commander Starscream? As to which Soundwave shows his dead body on his visor. And Breakdown's like, he's dead? So who's our new commander? And Blackout stands in the command center. So, Soundwave, All these are doctors that you called in for the job? To which Soundwave nods.
Blackout then leads them into a room.
Soundwave has caught me up on recent events, so I want you two to prepare our Lord Megatron's body for his memorial. And we shall carry on the Decepticon legacy under Lord Megatron's name. To which Megatron's body just sits there. Knockout and Breakdown are about to begin work. That is until Blackout notices something on the monitor. Brainwave activity. It seems our great Lord Megatron does live after all. Most interesting indeed. And that's where I'm going to leave it off here, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed part 1, and I'll see you guys in part 2.